Hello and welcome to the next video by Expand Your Skills, helping you to get to grips with Jotform and design better and more useful forms. Today we're going to look at designing a more complex contact form for use perhaps on a website. That'll be in video 1, and then in the second video we will introduce some conditional logical formatting and also look at bringing colour into the form as well. So let's begin, and the obvious place to start is by clicking on the Create Form button, and then we'll start from scratch as we're learning how to use the functions within Jotform. And on this occasion we'll use a classic look. We'll be presented with a completely blank form when my internet catches up with us. Here we are. So first of all, let's just change the name here. It's pre-filled it with form, but let's call it contact form. So we just double click on the text was there and replace with what we're looking for. And I have a plan of the elements that I want for the form. And so by clicking on the form element on the side here, let's rattle off some of them. So I want to know the person's name who's contacting me. So we click on that and drag it over. I'd also like to know their business name. So to enter that, we'll put in a short text box. Double click on the type of question and then just change it to business name. I'd like to know their email address. And I'd like to know their contact telephone number. Now there's 4 very basic bits of information, but which ones are absolutely essential? Now I would say the name is, so if we click on the name box and click on the cog for properties, we can make it so that it's required by just turning this button here from off to on. The business name, not so bothered about, because I do get contacts from individuals who aren't involved in a business particularly. The email address, I'd like that because I'd like to be able to contact them. So again, I'll make that the required field. And the phone number I'd like to have, so I'll make that a required field. And I don't personally like this format, so we can change that under the Advanced tab. No, we can change it under the Options tab, I beg your pardon, by just turning off the input mask. Then it returns to what I would consider more traditional style with the area code and the phone number. Now next up, which one of my services do they want to talk about? Well, I've got 3 main products I talk about, so I'm going to use a single choice radio key box here, or radio button box. So if I drag that over, and I've got the various options here, so let's go into properties. And options, I can delete the 4 that are there, and we'll go with Excel, Zapier, and Jotform. And you'll see on the left here, this produces a column of these. I prefer sometimes to use the name spread over columns, so I'll just click on this button and then increase the 2 here to a 3. So I have these then in a row. And again, this needs to be an essential item. They need to reply. I need to fill in this. So under General, we'll mark it as required. Now moving on, if they have a requirement for Excel training, I run various courses based on their level of knowledge. So what we'll do here is bring in these options. So again, we'll go to properties, and under the options this time we just have beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And once again, if they've selected Excel, then this is a required field. And again, I would like this to be spread over columns, and 3 columns as follows. Now for the moment, I'm going to hide this by clicking on Advanced and Hide Field. The reason why will become clear as we go through. What I've forgotten to do, of course, is there's a bit here saying type a question, which we can do up here. So if we type in what do you consider is your level of knowledge? And I've done the same here. So I need to just type in which of our services are you interested in? Gosh, hope it's not typing they want to talk about. Interested in. There we go. Next up, and I've just spotted a spelling mistake in here, or a letter missed out, so I'll change that in a moment. Okay, now I want to set up a meeting with these people, so I will ask them the best time to contact them, and the way to do that is by using the date picker, which we'll put into here. And again, instead of date, we need to ask a question. No, we'll say, when is a good time to contact you? We'll change this to include the time. I like the 24-hour format. And under the date format, okay, so America, currently it thinks we're American, so we'll go day, month, year. Like so. And the final thing I think we need is a comments box, so we put in a long text box here. And just type in any other comments you wish to make. Okay, so if we then go into preview mode, we'll be able to see the form as it stands. Okay, fairly bland, fairly dull, but it's got the information we want. Name, business name, email, phone number, what services, when is a good time to contact you. And if you click on the date there, it brings down the date picker, any comments you want to make, and a submit. So the one little bit of logic we're going to put into this is by going into settings and conditions here on the left hand side, and we're going to show hide a field. So if we click on this, it says if, please select a field. So what I want to do is if which of our services you are interested in is equal to Excel, I want to show what do you consider is your level of knowledge. So hopefully that's really straightforward when you think about it logically. So which of our services is equal to Excel, so if they're interested in Excel, then show the field what do you consider is your knowledge level. Save that. We then preview the form again. We'll see which of our services you're interested in. If we click Zapier, nothing happens. Jotform, nothing happens. But if we click Excel, this box then appears. Beginner, intermediate, advanced. So that's starting to use conditional logic. So back to build. What else do we want to include? Well, it's not a great in terms of colouring, nothing about our brand on there. And also I'd like to liven up with some pictures, some logos, this area. So that's what we're going to cover in the next video. So thank you very much for listening and watching part 1. Part 2 will follow along very shortly. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions, comments, etc., please leave them below or contact us via our website at expandyourskills.co.uk. Once again, many thanks.